everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome to Let's Play Super Hexagon. Oh god. Oh, that's twitchy as hell. Oh god, oh god. Ah, my brain! Oh my god! I died, I think. Oh no. I can't even think of words to say. What is it doing with the world? Oh, good God. How's any normal human supposed to be? Oh! What do you mean? Excellent! You changed it on me! Oh, good God! Why would you do that, you son of a bitch? I'm just in a state of panic right now. In what world would a human need skills to do this?
Super Hexagon.
So, this is a departure from what I wanted to do initially, but it does feel more on brand, perhaps. Certainly more meaningful to myself and who I am. I want to, in a shortish video essay, speak about Super Hexagon and why it's overwhelmingly important to my life. I'm not kidding, bear with me. Let's start at, well, the start.
Begin.
I bought Super Hexagon for the steep cost of $3. It came to my attention after watching Mark's video, referenced at the beginning. I thought to myself a few things while watching. I could probably do better than Mark, like what the hell? I really like how this game is kicking the player's ass while remaining only simple shapes. Hexagons are pretty cool, man. And the list goes on. I started at Hexagon, the first level or side as it were, and really sucked. This is not at all similar to what's likely playing in the background as I'm recording this myself. I'm not sure if Super Hexagon has a lot of footage online, but regardless, I want this to be personal to myself. I'm sure you understand. Getting back to the point, I was in a state of adolescence, anger, and pure hormones at the time, so I didn't get very far at first. Eventually, though, after maybe about a month of on and off play, I beat Hexagon, which in the game itself is marked as hard difficulty. After beating it, I felt good, calm, like I had accomplished something. Keep in mind this is a literal geometry-based arcade game. Just a triangle and some lines around the hexagon in the middle. Despite the simplicity, it was enough to kick my ass and take my name for a while. Enough to make me try. So after taking a break for a couple days, I moved on to Hexagoner, the second side, the harder difficulty. It was only upward from here.
Hexagon. Wonderful. Begin.
So, what had I experienced up to this point? What was so important about a freaking polygon-based arcade game totaling less than 100 megabytes in size? Well, I had non-ironically begun to apply myself. I'm sure that Terry Kavanagh, the developer, didn't really intend the game to be as significant as it had become to me. Maybe he had done so. I can't find information supporting either, so I'll assume he wanted to make a super freaking hard yet simple geometry-based Twitch game. That's Twitch as in the game genre, not the platform. In spite of the simplicity and what I had perceived, correct or not, as a lack of intent, I ended up taken in, almost entranced. At the risk of sounding repetitive, it's so simple. Yet I needed to put in more effort than ever to beat this stupidly simple game. Thus was my life. Eventually, as time would have it, after playing intermittently for a few more months, I beat the second side. I had conquered harder. I had conquered Hexagoner.
Hexagon. Wonderful. Begin.
Well, this is where we notice a very prescient issue. Hexagonist, the hardest stage, is a real bastard of a level. I still have massive problems playing it to this day, as reflected in my gameplay in the background. Honestly, I'm not confident I'm going to be able to create this next scene transition, properly anyways, so I'll be finishing the essay on this footage. Maybe I won't. Super Hexagon has been in my life for the last decade or so. Yes, 10 years. With me owning 2 copies I can think of immediately, one on PC and one on Android. I may have also bought one on iOS at some point. While researching this video, I found out about a spiritual successor called Open Hexagon, which I'll be buying upon finishing the script or during a break, whichever comes first. Once again, risking sounding repetitive, it's of grand importance to my personal experience. Despite most likely not being able to beat Hexagonist for this video, I remember exactly where I beat it the first time. I had just finished my GED, which despite being relatively easy, not trying to toot my own horn, but I did only need one attempt, was extremely daunting. I needed it because I had been told I could drop out of high school at 16 due to being grandfathered into a law, but if I remember correctly, the law was revised and I was de-grandfathered, at least in regards to the dropout age. Either that, or I was given erroneous information to begin with. Either way, it turned out that I had been retroactively rendered 2-ish years truant, which could have landed my mother and stepfather state charges for neglect, or whatever the legal term would be. Prison time was on the table for such, which really sucked. So, once I had enough of the county's home and hospital program for kids who can't or won't attend high school proper, I decided to have my parents pay for me to get my GED, but only after a lot of struggle to get past the issues of anxiety and depression. It initially felt like it'd be an exercise in futility, a fool's errand. An uncompletable task. Not worth even trying. One day, though, something occurred to me. After slamming my head against Hexagonist, it just kind of clicked. What have I been doing for the last 3 years? Trying something that seemed completely pointless, hopeless initially. But I'm still here, still doing it, still trying. So, I applied myself. I asked my parents about trying to get the GED, and they let me know I would probably have to study hard, one expressing concern about the latter bit, one unconvinced I was ready to even try. I told them I was tired of this home and hospital crap and I was ready to move on. I had dreams of college, wanted to get into cybersecurity, I had a plan. I was the only thing holding me back. I realized this because of the absolute grind Super Hexagon invited to me, but never imposed. It never put me down, made me feel bad in any way. There's hardly any feedback other than begin, game over, begin, and so on, until you win. So I got my GED. Upon waiting to get my ride back home, it happened. I beat Hexagonist. I beat the hardest difficulty. I had won.
Begin.
So I moved on, both from my life in public school legal hell and from the first 3 sides of Super Hexagon. Though, as I just hinted at, a hexagon has 6 sides. Mine was half complete. The hyperstages technically become available after you complete the corresponding side. That is, Hexagon unlocks Hyperhexagon, Hexagoner unlocks Hyperhexagoner, and Hexagonist Hyperhexagonist. To this day, I have never completed the final side, labeled Hardest Assist, which is not a joke in the slightest, as it is both technically labeled that, and it plays mind tricks on you that makes it the most difficult thing I've ever played. At least in From Software's Dark Souls and similar games, you can level up. You can eventually beat the boss with numbers alongside attrition. Super Hexagon? Pure skill. Immediate upward curve. You have to get good. No other way around it. But you know what? That's okay. I'm okay with not having closure on this. It simply isn't over yet. Once I beat Hexagonist, my life won't be over, and I won't begin for real. But it will be an important point in my life. A point that will prove to me I am alive and I'm getting better. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes that's all you need. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. I'm making this video my intro not only because of how important it is to me, but it also seems to be an important message to convey to others. Never give up. Life may not be your fault, but giving up would be. You are capable. You can do it if you really try. It will not be easy, but it will in the end be worth it. See you in the next one. Thank you once more. Goodbye.
Hexagon. Wonderful.